Dobrodošli na novo izdanje emisije Oni vole Srbiju. Danas se nalazimo u Pančevu. Naš današnji gost je košarkaš Tamiša, Davon Barns. Idemo da ga upoznamo i da čujemo njegovu priču. Thank you so much for being here. I'm super happy for this interview. How are you doing, first off?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking.
Thank you again for being here. And every time we're starting this interview, this conversation, I like to talk about the beginnings, about your career. But now I want to start differently because you are super interesting. You're learning Serbian. You're not like other Americans. Like, this is your rookie season in Europe. And you're like, okay, I love here. I embrace the culture.
So, I know a little bit of Serbian, Dobar dan, Dobro jutro, Loko noć, Vidimus, just the simple basics. But as time being here, it's definitely been fun, learning a new language, learning new people, and learning new things to, experience in my life. And I'm always just an open-minded person, Coming out here, it definitely was a first. But what I kind of instilled in my college career, I kind of like, if you notice, I left Memphis and went straight to Texas right out of high school. And like, I kind of knew as basketball progressing, at this being something that I really wanted to do, that I needed to be out of my comfort zone, and not be so resilient on being around family. Of course I love my family, but, as a man growing up, I knew I needed to experience new things and be better at being on my own. So coming out here to Serbia, it definitely, I feel like leaving college, not gonna leave college, leaving home and going to college, it definitely helped me prepare to be out here. But it's definitely different being in Serbia, but it's definitely been fun.
That's definitely a very good mindset. And I told you even that before off camera. And I was surprised when you told me, okay, I celebrated my birthday in a kafana in Belgrade. So please tell me more about it. I was super, why kafana?
Yeah,
why kafana?
A kafana, my teammates kind of recommended it, like I told you, but it definitely was fun. Definitely an experience. I definitely would feel like I would like to experience that again. Definitely have another, good time with my teammates. I have good teammates, great guys to be around, great people to speak to, great people to just, outside of basketball, just talk to. Outside of basketball, we always talk, hang out, chill, joke, go out to eat sometimes, in the morning, go for coffee, go for lunch, and when they recommended that, definitely at first I was like, I've never heard of this. I know, I'm not from here. I don't know what to expect, but they said, bro, you'll be fine. You'll be okay.
You will like it. Okay,
okay. Yeah.
But I would like to know the impression in that moment, and I would like to know, what did you say to your family, to your friends in the States? Okay, I went to a Serbian place called Kafana, okay.
So when I first got it, first I was late, because showered, took my time, I had to find my outfit. I was like, okay, sorry, bro, I'm late. But when I got there, immediately as soon as I walked in, you can sense the vibe, sense the atmosphere. You know what you was getting into. I walked in, live music. My friends came over. It's like, hey, D, David, speaking to me. And then I sat down, ate some good food. Then after a while, my teammates told me, after a while, bro, they could move all the chairs out the way. They go move all the tables, and we go start having some fun. And I said, once that time, bro, just put your thumb up at me so I know. And once I looked around, I see them put a thumbs up. It was a great time, great experience. I would definitely want to do that again.
Yeah, great. Now, I told you even that before. This is a very good mindset because you want to fit in, you want to embrace the culture, and if you're feeling good in a place when you're leaving, you're going to be good even on the court.
Of course.
And everybody's saying that you're doing great, so just keep doing like this.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Okay, would you like to talk a little bit about your career? But first off, I would like to know about you, about your family, because you're from the South, from Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm from Tennessee.
I really like people from the South because you're smiling all the time.
Of course.
You have a beautiful energy, guys. So tell me more about your upbringing.
My upbringing, I had a family, me, my mom, my dad, and I have, let me think, it's a lot of us. A little brother, older sister, older brother. So that's five of us. We all lived in one house. We all grew up together, definitely fight and have siblings fights. But as time goes on, we got more comfortable with each other, more hanging around with each other outside of just, fighting all the time as siblings do. But, we had a great upbringing. We talked as a family. We hang out all the time. We ate together Sunday nights, Sunday dinners, and then we also had played sports. My sister was a swimmer. My other sister, she played instruments. Me, I can't swim. I don't want to swim. I don't want to get into that. But
you prefer the court.
Yeah. Okay. So, it was a great upbringing. We played multiple sports. My brother played football. I played basketball, tennis, baseball, football for a week. That wasn't for me. That wasn't my cup of tea. But other than that, it was definitely pretty fun. We all competed in everything we done. you know. So if it was like whoever first to eat, finished to eat, you know, we did that. If it was like first to the shower, you know, fighting over the shower, he was first to that. You know, if it was like racing, football, you know, because my brother played football, but even though I didn't play, we still out in the front yard playing football. You know, I was trying to beat him. So like, I feel like it definitely helped me progress in my career as being more competitive and being more understanding of being around others, working as a team. Because, you know, family, we're all one team. So that definitely helped with my career, with playing basketball, depending on others depending on me. So my upbringing was definitely great, you know. Loving mom, loving dad. You know, I love them to this day. I talk to my mom pretty often every day, every chance I get, you know, being in different time zones. So it's definitely been hard, but I still find the chances to. And I definitely feel like my family was a great family, you know, because some people don't have the chance to really be around family like that. So I'd appreciated mine as much as I possibly could until, you know, I had to leave.
It's amazing to hear. You have a great connection, and I can see you're super attached to your siblings and to your family. How much do you miss them?
I miss them a lot. I miss them every day. I call my little brother as much as I possibly can.
Wow.
You know, like we get on the game pretty often, playing Fortnite, Call of Duty. You know, I download games that I don't even like just to play with him. You know, just so I can talk to him, because I know he misses me and I miss him as well. Sorry. And then my sister, I talk to her pretty often. You know, my other three siblings, they're like more advanced in their careers, life, way older than me, so like they're more busy than the other ones. But I still, you know, text them, send them funny videos on TikTok, you know, send them memes, send them pictures of me, what I'm doing. Because when it snowed out here, it's the first time I've seen snow get this big and that high, you know, being from the South. So I send them pictures of me doing that, you know, playing in the snow. And then I definitely miss them. I definitely can't wait to see them again. But I know, like, they know and I know that, you know, I'm just doing what's best for me in my life and my career. And so, you know, they don't worry about my safety, and they don't worry about my, you know, my love for them.
Yeah, okay. They didn't have the chance to visit you so far, right?
No,
Okay.
Sadly. My mom wants to come out here, but she's like, you know, I have to find time. But my mom, I understand, you know.
Okay, yeah. And life is like this. It will be an occasion for sure in the future for them to come to Europe and visit a little bit, because it's different. They have never been overseas.
My mom has. My mom, she went to, I think, Spain, Greece, Italy, around that type of area. I think when she had her birthday, she came over here overseas, and she went on, I think, like a little, like, I want to say cruise. I don't know exactly, but I know my mom wasn't calling and texting us for a week. That's all I know. She was like, I'm leaving.
Got it.
I'm going on vacation.
Don't bother me.
Don't bother me.
Okay, got it. But okay, cool destination. I told you even before, you should visit Greece, Spain, and Italy, Mediterranean vibe. But I want to mention something. You're a very religious family, right?
Yeah,
so would you mind to tell us more about that?
Yeah, we grew up in the church. You know, we were Baptist, you know, Baptist Christian. We grew up in the church. We all got baptized. You know, it was a very special day when I got baptized, because I was singing in church, and then like I just felt like a overwhelming spirit of just like needing to like really know who my Lord and Savior is, you know, really like feeling a connection, really like taking the next step in my faith. And one day in church, I was just sitting there, and, you know, usually like my family, like they'd like be like, you know, today might be the day, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not peer pressure, because, you know, we all have our own journey, our own paths when it comes to like finding Christ and our Lord and Savior. But today, that day was just definitely a different day. You know, I definitely feel like overwhelmed to like stand up and like come to the church, you know, declare my faith and like really like make it like more known than I already was. Because, you know, I believed in God. You know, I already, you know, prayed and all this and that, because as we grew up, that's what we did as a family. Before we ate, prayed. You know, before we go to sleep, we prayed. You know, pray for each other. You know, if there was anything that was happening between the family, we always did that. You know, read Bible verses, Bible study. You know, growing up, I had an AAU team called the War Eagles, and my great mentor, you know, father figure, David Kaiser, that he had like Bible study before games. You know, we taught as a team. You know, he really like instilled it more into me as I grew up. So that kind of like really made my faith even bigger and my belief in him even better and better. Because in my lifetime, I definitely had some like, out-of-body experiences to where it's more than just me. I know like the steps that it takes to really get to the place that I am. It's not just all solely me. I know it's him as well. So growing up, that definitely guided me in every decision that I make, every choice that I do, every step that I take in my life, that I talk to him, I speak to him first.
Got it. So from this statement, I can understand that your faith had an important role in your life, even in basketball.
Of course, right? You know, before every game I pray, you know.
Okay.
And before every game we do a little huddle thing, and then I step to the side and I give my little, you know, speech and talk to him, pray for my safety, pray for my performance skills. I don't honestly pray for like a good performance. I pray for safety, health, and for him to like guide me in my steps on the court. You know, for him to, wherever it's meant for me today, I want him to make that happen, you know, because I don't have too big expectations, too low expectations. You know, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to be able to like, oh, why didn't I have a good game today? You know, because that's not how God works. But I just pray for the results to happen wherever they happen. I live with that. I also, if I play bad, bad games, I also want to not be mad at them, because at the end of some days might be a lesson, so.
Yeah, okay, you're having this mindset, so I had the feeling that you're accepting whatever is happening because it's part of the journey. Everything is written, right? You need to embrace that and just be strong and have faith and believe, right?
Basketball, I've been through every situation. I've been the guy on the freshman team, been the guy on the college team, the freshman, only guy the freshman that barely played. Then I also been the next year, been the guy that played a lot of minutes, did a lot of scoring. And also been a role player. Then I've been in every situation when it comes to basketball. So I know I can handle anything that comes my way. I know with God by my side that I have the strength and power to do anything that comes my way, and that the results may show whatever they may lay, and whatever He has planned for me, and whatever lesson He has planned for me in that time period, I take it, I read it, learn what's going on, and move forward.
Got it. Before talking more deeply about your basketball career in college, especially about college, would you mind to tell me how everything started? So one day you woke up and said, okay, I want to play basketball.
Honestly, so this is the story. This is why I say I don't really mention football. So my dad was a big football fan,
American football, right?
American football,
okay, I was confusing that with soccer, sorry, okay.
American football. So I went out there at football field and I'm like, man, I am itchy, bro. Why is it so hot out here? I'm itching. Why am I in the grass? What is this going on? And I was like, bro, I can't do this. This is not me. So then my mom, she's more of a big tennis fan. Like she likes Serena, Venus, growing up, we went to the tennis match and seen them play. So play tennis. I like tennis. I really enjoyed playing tennis. I'm like, man, this might be something I really might do. But then one day I think my dad was sitting at home just watching some Lakers game because he's a big Kobe fan. I'm a big Kobe fan as well, rest in peace. That I'm watching basketball. I'm like, this is really interesting. I want to try this and get into this. So at the same time, I was playing tennis and basketball. In the same time back when I was young, they played around the same time period, being outside, warm weather to school, not really being that time period. So I was playing both at the same time. Mm-hmm. So it came down to a choice where it was okay, you gotta make a choice. Either you playing basketball or you playing tennis. This was when I was in second or third grade. And I'm like, man, I really love both. So I'm like, man, I had to sit back and think about it. I'm like, man, what do I really want to play? What do I really see myself progressing and excelling in, And I was sat down, third grader, I don't know how old is that, 10 or something like that. I was like, man, I really enjoy basketball. I really like cross people over. I really like seeing people dunk. I really like seeing shoot the long threes. This is before Steph Curry at that time period, but seeing people shoot threes and do between the legs dunks, I'm like, I want to do this. This is something I want to do. Mm-hmm. And I feel like when I made that choice, I made a great choice. Of course, it may probably here to this point, So, growing up, I played for the Warriors with my mentor, David Kaiser. I played with him, played with him since I was I think all the way up to ninth grade. And play for the team, Memphis local team, then eventually, play for circuit teams. And then I eventually got to college. And then now that I'm here.
You said you enjoy basketball. For that reason, you choose this sport. But how do you feel when you're on the court? Explain that to me. What's the feeling?
I feel like it's more of a euphoric feeling, It's like no other feeling in the world, because it's certain highs in this world that, you can't describe. And that's one of them. Stepping on the court every day, every time that I get the chance to, because, you never know we might be your last. It's a blissful feeling, stepping on the court, being able to run, jump, dunk, shoot.
You like dunks.
Long threes.
Okay, got it. You like dunks.
Shoot long threes. It's a euphoric feeling to be. It's indescribable how exciting it brings me. How much people that just got me to meet, friends I made along the way. I have lifelong brothers I met playing this game of basketball, and I won't take any of that chances, or anything else.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about college. This is a very important step in your life, guys. So tell me about your experience, NCAA. How was that?
So in high school, I committed to Texas Southern University out of Houston, Texas. It was a great school. I loved it. I talked to the coach because it was the year I was coming out during COVID, so it was kind of hard, kind of see where high school athletes were going to college in America. And my great man, Chiron Chapman, he had called me, talked to me, and then, Coach Johnny Jones called me and was like, hey, we want to give you an offer. And then I was like, my mom was like, she was so excited because my great-grandfather went to that school, and I didn't even know that. She was like, oh, why are you going to you might go to Texas? You really might have to take this offer. It's a good school, a nice opportunity. It's in Houston, Texas. Your grandfather's out there. You might as well, go out there. But my mom, I'm pray over it. I'm thinking about it first. And then,
pray, always pray.
Yeah, and then I committed there. It was a great time, great school, great people to be around, great mentors that I've learned along the way. And my freshman year, if it was I learned the I would probably say, because everybody was so older. I had 23, 24-year-old, 25-year-old teammates, and I'm 18, not even 19 yet. Coming out of high school, still a little skinny, still a little young, not as much into my man body. So it was definitely a learning year. You know, I got better as the year went on, and then like going to my sophomore year, I feel like it was definitely a time for me to take that turn.
Yeah.
You know, really a time for me to take that next step in my career, in my basketball, you know, journey, because it's just something I really want to do. So that whole summer going to my sophomore year, I trained really hard. You know, I trained my body, I trained my mind, I trained my basketball skills, I trained like every aspect of my game. And then when the season came, I excelled. You know, I had games against big schools, big time teams, tournament teams. I had great games. And then like, you know, like going into that year, we kind of had a down year because a lot of guys we had it injured, but we still ended up finding a way to win, you know, because we ended up winning our conference tournament and we ended up going to the March Madness, which I feel like is definitely a blessing to go to, because I've only not been to March Madness one time. And I know a lot of people that play basketball, and it's like, bro, like I never been. I never really, I know what that feels like. I never really been to experience that, and it's definitely a different feeling, you know. And going after that, my sophomore year, I ended up wanting to transfer, you know, because, you know, if I had a bigger opportunity to go somewhere else, I ended up going to Sam Houston State University for Coach Chris Mudge, Justin Bailey, all those guys, you know, I played for them. And then he's the first time head coach. The coach that was there before Sam Houston, he ended up leaving and go to another school, and he was the first time head coach, the one I chose to go to. And I trust and believe in him. He believed in me. I liked the plan that he had for, you know, the team and the guys, and he was a Christian man as well. Christian man as well. Like he prayed and like had like meetings as well, and I really liked that about them. So I'm like, I'm going here. So I ended up going there. First time head coach. The school I think hasn't won in a very long time in their league or something like that. First year I get there. First year with the head coach, different staff, teammates, we all come together. We ended up winning. First time being there, you know, and it was a great feeling with those guys. I had a lot of brothers on that team. I really still talk to them to this day. And you know, with the age of college basketball, after my junior year, it was, you know, with NIL and like the transfer portals and all this and that, I feel like I had the great opportunity to go somewhere even higher and go somewhere even different and better. You know, so after my junior year, I talked to the coach and told him that, like, you know, I think it's time for me to leave. I feel like he understands, especially with the landscape of college basketball. It's not where it is now, you know, but back then it was definitely along those lines. And I got a call from Ole Miss, you know, Coach Chris Beard, great coach, you know, Wesley Flanagan, that's my guy who called me, you know, those two guys, and talked to them, you know, and it was like a great opportunity. You know, he like street dogs, you know, I'm coming from Memphis, Tennessee, like you got to fight, you know, in any aspect of life. I like that about him. Talked to him, you know, and then I decided to commit to him. Decided to commit to the school and what he had planned for the school. I like what he said, I like the things he talked about. He wanted to win, and I'm all about winning. I love to win. And going there, I definitely had a different role, but at the end of the day, that's what I told you about, like, you know, God's journey in my career. Like, you gotta be able to adapt. Any situation, any opportunity that you're given, like, you know, make the best out of it. You know, and Ole Miss hasn't won in a very long time, very, very long time. And like his second year there, Chris Beard, great legendary coach. You know, he things he wanted to do. I messed with it. You know, I wanted to be a part of that. And then in the first time in school history, like they made I think not the first time, but it's been a very long time. They made it to the Sweet 16. You know, first time, second time being there, and my first time being in the SEC, that high of program. Like, it was definitely enjoyable. I definitely enjoyed my time there. I definitely learned a lot of lessons. Definitely learned a lot to be able to progress in my professional career. He taught me a lot of good lessons on and off the court as being like a player and as a man. You know, I appreciate him for that. And then going to that, you know, first time being a pro, you know, it's time to make a decision on like how I want to like work out, how I want to, you know, advance my career, what I choose. It was definitely a difficult process, but I feel like with God by my side, praying along the way, that I feel like he made a lot of decisions that, you know, got me to this point. You know, I had a lot of workouts, different places. Worked out in Miami, worked out in Texas, worked out in Houston, worked out in Dallas, went all the way to Las Vegas. You know, I think I went to California one time, and then, you know, led me here.
I'm sure that that moment was a little bit challenging because it's not easy.
Of course.
And I'm sure that these difficult situations helped you to grow even more as a player. Would you mind to share something?
Of course.
What was the toughest moment back then?
I feel like the toughest moment definitely was being at Ole Miss. You know, especially going off a year of like being like the top main guy on the team, one of the top main guys on the team, and then coming in like, okay, you got a little less of a role, but you still want to be productive and really want you to be part of what we got going on. It's definitely mentally challenging at first. But once I bought in and really like sat in what my role was and what the ideology coach had for me, I feel like once I started to really accept that, I really started to excel. I really wanted to start to win. You know, it definitely was challenging before that even as well. Like coming out of high school, and like I'm thinking like, okay, I'm a top dude in my state, top dude in my city. I'm gonna come in this high school and do what I got to do and, you know, progress my career. And then coming in, like it didn't go as planned, you know. But it's definitely in the time period like. It was definitely hard and it was definitely challenging mentally, especially, you know, coming out of high school, then also coming into Ole Miss. It was definitely challenging, you know, mentally. But as I sat back and think about the bigger picture, I feel like you never know really, like, you never realize like how much of a blessing the situation you are in when you're in it until you get out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And once I get out, I'm like, okay, this is how I should see this. But it was definitely challenging in the midst of it, for sure.
I wanted to talk about your experience here. It's the first time overseas. It's your rookie season, and you came to Serbia, the Jokic land. I would like to say Jokic land. So tell me more about this, how everything started.
So, hopping on the plane, I had never been on a plane that long. 13 hours. Oh my gosh. It was definitely a long plane ride. I'm like, man, like, I kept looking out the window. I'm like, bro, like, are we getting closer to land? I'm looking at straight water.
Oh my.
But
it was a fun moment, right?
Yeah,
But it was fun.
It was fun. I had a woman like on the plane. She talked to me, told me a little about some stuff like to expect, being overseas. I told her like, this is my first time being overseas. Like, this is my first time leaving the country. Like, I'm a little worried, but I'm low-key excited at the same time. So like her talking to me, to tell me about like the area, the Balkan area, and then like Croatia and all the surrounding countries and places. She was telling me all about it, and I was like, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable going into it. I got on my plane. I was on my I do a lingo. It was like a language app to learn a little bit of stuff. So when I got on the plane, I I wanted to like speak to the guy and be like say something like in Serbian to him. Like I was like, oh, just like make it a little bit of an icebreaker in a sense. But being here has definitely been fun. I have great teammates like I talked about before. Talking to them has definitely been like a easier and smoother transition for me. Because I feel like if I had better, worse teammates than the situation that I have now, that it would have been a way tougher situation. The way different like type of vibe to be around, hang around guys. But since they're all great guys, great teammates, great people that even in general just talk to, it makes this way so much more smoother.
Yeah, did you get used to the style? The style here is completely different, and comparing to America.
Yeah. The basketball portion of like different style. Like when I first got here, oh my gosh, the practice was so physical. I mean, like we're physical in America, of course, but like it was like blatantly, but like physical. Like one time I came off a screen, bro just ran me over.
It's physical in different ways. It's physical in different ways.
Bro,
like here is like I want to show you that I'm physical.
Yeah,
it's more,
literally.
it's more like
I came off the screen, bro just ran me over, and I looked at the coach. He said, "Welcome to Serbia." I said, "Bro, what? Like this got to be more than basketball." But I've adjusted more to it. I've become more of a physical player as well. But I'm not dirty, but just more physical. Try to be more into the style of basketball. And outside of like basketball, just regular life, the style is definitely great as well. I like the more chill, calm, laid back. Still a little bit more up when it comes to it. But it's still like way slower and chill than it is in America. And I really enjoy it. I like going coffee now. I'm not really a coffee drinker. I've always been like a tea drinker. Like herbal teas, like chai tea. Now I drink espresso.
Okay,
so I definitely feel like it's definitely been a great experience outside of the court and on the court.
So you're a great guy, and I wish you all the best in your career. And to wrap up, you have this camera behind me. If you have a short message for the audience, for the basketball audience, for the fans, you can say something to them.
Hello guys, my name is Davon Barns, and I'm thankful for this time. Thankful for everything that this meal, exquisite eats, exquisite interview. I appreciate my teammates. Thomas, great club, great basketball club. Come to a game one time, and my family back home in America. Thank you, Mom. I love you, Mom. Thank you for raising me, raising my dad as a great man. Thank you to my siblings. I love and appreciate y'all. Believe in Christ, follow God, and anything you can do, just believe it.